And for the transportation game, when Barack Obama came to Minnesota, and I was goaded to call to get one of those 100 tickets, I didn't want to meet Barack. Just like when Michelle Obama was here, Jackie Baker at Henry, I didn't want to meet Michelle at Henry. That's not the way you do business. And if I'm a precedent, if my life was on the line for a deal that I put $2.2 million on for the missed instruction, the the connection of abuse to Shayla. I went back to James Fairclough, running into him at the Cubs on Broadway, where I seen that letter at my daddy's house, Krisha, where you took me to pick up that bin, that milk crate with that nasty picture in it and all those pictures from Lincoln. As I started to have nightmares, Krisha, and think back to Orinthia Montague and you and your mama, as you worked at Normandale and your mother was cleaning up your boss's home, Orinthia Montague. And then I thought about Letitia Magdaleno and Brian Bigelow. These people became Keith Ellison, Bobby Joe Champion, Kim Ellison. That's who they became, Blong Yang, Office of Civil Rights. It became straight abuse through the district courts where you then said you were all divorced and you wanted me to come fuck you. I went back to when I was 3 years old. Tim and Chris, you were holding me down so Tim could help me. I went back to the circle of discipline. It began to feel like I was held down in the KMOJ, KFan, private Netflix, Metro PCS deal that Keith Ellison, Bobby Joe Champion, Barb Johnson did out of the 211-311 corridor, where Dwayne Johnson's 25, 30 years on his job with the post office and the police now affected me and my children. I started to have nightmares about when they were asking me where my son was. My son could have been in jail being beat up at that point, and I'm thinking he's at Harrison. I started to have nightmares about when my son said they were on the road in the snowstorm and they were playing race games with these cars of kids who were fucking with him on the road, and they almost ran him off the road, and Shayla almost had a heart attack and they had to stop and get gas and something to drink. And as she done that, she died. She passed. I started to think of the juvenile diversion game, Barack, rock the vote, Michelle Obama. I started to think back to your time in office, 2008, and how many kids you could have got to sign a contract. And as they signed this contract, you funneled this illegal money to them under Rock the Vote. And as they made sure you people just kept getting your way, they now infringed upon me and my children's rights here in the state of Minnesota, and that created a riot to me, where I now wanted riot money under hate crime. You hated me enough to sick people who didn't even fucking know me and my kids on me. You started to have men who were sexually attracted to me stalk me like I wanted to fuck them, Linda. You started to handpick dick from high school as if they were watching me. Do you know how degraded I felt? How belittled I felt? How did I take back my sexuality, Bobby? Keith, Michael Sr., how the fuck did I take back my sexuality? I freed my motherfucking pussy. I said, if they're gonna rape you, Sharon, in private, you might as well make a spectacle of yourself in public. Why? That way, if anybody's behind closed doors, Derek, calling me a hoe, taking me on a police stroll, Dwayne, as if I turned tricks, Bobby, we can be very clear, Michael Cooper Sr., that for 10 years I kept my legs proudly closed. Because that little abused girl at 3, Chris, she wanted to take back her sexuality. You know, sex was for love. It wasn't just for sex. I could get a fucking job, make money. I could sell drugs. I could get a job, sell drugs, have lots of money. You're a want, not a need. I didn't need a dick. I needed a man to stand up for me, Mom. Make Bobby, Don, Keith stop. How dare they include my son? Like I said, I started to dream, Keith, Bobby, Dwayne, that he was abused by the student resource officers, Linda Baker. $1 trillion was motherfucking real.